You deserve a man that values you highly. You want him to feel lucky to be with you. You want him to have that winning feeling, like he's achieved something special. When he feels like this, then he's inspired to keep chasing you, and he's inspired to keep investing in you. And that means he's then fearful of losing you. And that's what we want. Let me help you with this today. I've got some great tips here that have worked for me. I have found that when I accept less, I get less. When I raised the bar and I expected more, I actually found my prince, who I've been with now for nearly 6 years. And that's where I want to get you to as well. So stick with me today, stay to the end. I always have good information right through the video. I'm Lizzie. If you're new to the channel, I would love you to subscribe. Give it the thumbs up if you enjoy the content today. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. What I found in the past is that the more I liked someone, the more easygoing I was, the more available I was, the more accommodating. I was just too nice to these guys. And they then took advantage of that. They didn't treat me like I really deep down wanted to be treated. And of course, then I became unhappy and it just never went anywhere. When I decided that I had a certain level of behavior that I wanted back, then I started to work on what I was doing in order to attract that to me. And that's when I attracted this great guy into my life. We have to teach guys how to treat us. They actually do want to know. The good ones do. So we teach them by how we present ourselves, how we behave, the standards we want upheld. So when you do all this, and these tips are going to help you with that today, then we attract the right guys back to us. And you know what? We only want the good ones. The other ones, just let them go, because they're just time wasters and they're players. Some of them are just con artists, I think. You know what they're like. We've all been there. We've all had them in our lives. You don't need them. Just let them go. And let's focus in on trying to find a guy that really values us highly. This is what you deserve. I want you to decide, is he worthy of you first? Really take good notice when you start dating a guy. This is really important. Before you start wasting any time on anything that you do, it's really important to know if you want to pursue a relationship with a guy, you want a partnership, a marriage, whatever you're looking for, that he really is a decent guy. Listen to how he behaves around others. You know, does he get angry in the car when he can't find a car space? Is there a bit of road rage going on? Does he bark orders at waiters? When he speaks to people on the phone, does he then get off the phone and talk about them behind their back? How does he talk about his family and his friends? Listen to everything and take it all in, because it's all going to be, in the end, how he treats you. It always comes back to that. You will definitely see a pattern, so don't waste your time on these people. I've done this too. I spent years with a man that had a bad temper from the very, very beginning, and I should have taken notice of it then, but I didn't. So be warned in the beginning, take notice of what this guy's like and move on if he's not right for you. Don't waste any more time on guys that are not right for you. Secondly, and this can be a tough one, but I want you to pretend that you don't really like him that much, because when you have that mindset that you're not so eager to be with him, then it changes the dynamic, and you're not always then changing your routine and changing your behavior to be with him, because you think, well, he's not that important. My life is more important. I'm going to just continue to do what I'm doing in my life, and he has to step up and, ask me out on dates in a good time frame, not 2 days before. You don't want phone calls at the last minute. Are you free? If he cancels a date on you at the last minute, you think, well, you know what? I don't like him that much. I'm not going to go out with him again. Or if he is late for a date, more than once without a decent excuse, you don't think, oh, I'll make excuses for him because you really like him and you're so eager to be with him. Guys pick up on this eagerness, this, as I said before, accommodating attitude that you have, that you're so nice and easygoing, and he just devalues you. You're not any less valuable. He just sees you as less valuable because he thinks, well, she's just so easy. I don't need to put any effort into this. She'll be happy with an okay date. I don't have to book a restaurant and spend big money on her because she's so nice. She'll just be happy with whatever I come up with. This happened to me. I'd just come out of a relationship that was a kind of a relationship, and then along came the guy that I'm with now, and I wasn't super attracted to him, and I wasn't really in the right mindset to actually get into another relationship. I was kind of pushing it away for a while. I felt some time to myself, but he really pursued me, and he really pulled out all the stops and planned beautiful dates, and in the end planned a beautiful holiday for us, which really moved the relationship forward. But what happened was, because I didn't really like him that much in the beginning, I wasn't really attracted to him in the beginning, I was just sitting back and I was being a little aloof and I was being a little bit hard to get, I didn't change anything. I didn't change my routine for him. I didn't make myself very available for him. I made things a little bit difficult. And he then really stepped up and really went all out to win me over. And this is what has to happen. You have to put yourself in a position where you don't really like him, because unfortunately when we really like a guy, as I said earlier, we just become too easygoing, too accommodating, and he picks up on this. The guys pick up on this eagerness and they think, oh, she's so easygoing, she's so nice, it won't matter if I call her last minute. Oh, it doesn't matter if I'm a bit late for that date. Oh, look, I've got somewhere else to be. Do you mind if we put this off till next week? You know, all these sorts of things where you become secondary. When a guy has to work hard for you, then he puts you at the top, because he'll work everything else around you, because he's like, well, I don't want to miss out on seeing her because I might miss her. If I don't book her in and I don't see her now, then I might not be able to see her for a week. This is a position you need to put yourself in. You deserve to be valued highly. And even though your value is no less, we need him to see your value as higher. Always be polite, but be a little bit removed, a little bit more aloof than you would normally be if you were all in. And he will then have to work a little harder. It's all about getting him to step up and problem solve and think, what do I need to do to see this girl? Because she's not just going to be available for me when I'm ready. I need to work around her. So you need to be the one in control of this situation. You have the power. So make sure that he knows that. So take back your power and make sure that he steps up and works hard to win you, because then you become more valuable in his eyes. I've got a girlfriend, Camilla I'll call her, and she had a boyfriend for a while who we could all see was just not right for her. He did not treat her well. He would often chat up girls in front of her. He took long weekends away without her. Late nights, she accepted, that he was just out with his mates, but who knows what he was up to. She was very easygoing and accepting because she didn't feel that she was worthy of him. And when she put herself in that position, he took advantage of her, and he just kept dishing her up more and more bad behavior because she kept accepting it. She thought she was at an age where if she let him go, even though we kept telling her that you should let him go, she thought, no, I want to have children. I don't want to let him go. I've been with him now for sort of 5 years, and if I let him go now, then what will happen? Who will I find? In the end, he left her, and so she was back in the same position. She was a smart, kind, pretty girl. She had risen to management in the job that she was doing here in Sydney. And in the end, she had to give all that away. She went home to her family in another state. She needed therapy. She went through so much for this man. So don't waste time with guys that are not treating you well now, because there's no guarantee that they're going to stick around at any age. Just make sure that you're being taken care of, that you're setting your bar high, and you are not accepting less than you deserve. Now, thirdly, be honest. There is no point in being with a guy who's a very outdoorsy guy who loves to go camping on the weekends when it's just not you. I personally do not like camping. I haven't liked it since I was probably 12. I'm not into wet clothes and mosquito bites. It's just me. So I wouldn't want to be with a guy who wanted to drag me camping. It just wouldn't work. I'm quite upfront. I have learned to, by now, to say what I like and what I don't like, so that they're very clear what it is I'm prepared to do. Now, my partner doesn't really like exercising. He'll go for a walk with me on a Sunday, but he rates exercising at about 5 on a scale from 1 to 10. So he's not really into it, but we compromise. Like, he loves water sports, and I'm happy to sit on the beach or on a boat, not to actually be in the water. I'm actually a bit terrified of sharks. I like swimming pools. So if you don't like something, you should say what you don't like, because guys actually like to know what you do and don't like. And it's no point in pretending that you like the outdoors when you don't really like the outdoors, because where's that going to lead in the end? That's just going to lead to conflict. It's better that you've got a voice. It's better that you are honest about who you are, and he'll appreciate that. He will see you as a girl that has standards, that is quite direct about what she does and doesn't like in life, and he'll be able to rely on that. He will know where he stands, and men like that. They like to have that certainty in a girl. So don't fluff around. Don't pretend you like something when you don't like it. Be honest with him. Remember your feminine power, though. Remember to be gentle about it. There's no need to be harsh about it. Just, point out what it is you do and don't like, so he knows. And You can always, as I do, compromise. It's okay to go and be a part of something, not to actually be doing it, but to perhaps cheer him on or watch him. It's okay too to have your own interests. I think that's really, really healthy in any relationship, is to have your own interests and friends and hobbies. All right, now fourthly, don't play games with a guy. I have seen this backfire many times where girls try to make guys jealous and they lose them, or they're just encouraging the wrong kind of guys. The nice guys, I know a lot of nice guys, and none of them appreciate a girl trying to make them jealous. They will drop that girl pretty fast. They don't see her as valuable. They don't see her as someone that they can respect or be with long term. If she is deliberately trying to make him jealous or play games with him, they don't like it, because they think about the future and they think, is this a girl that I really want in my life long term? So I'm dropping this one in here because it elevates your value when he feels you're someone he can respect and is playing an honest game with him. What I did when I was single was I had a gay boyfriend. So whenever I had time to myself, or I felt like this guy was out doing something else, I'd call my gay boyfriend and out we'd go. So I didn't deliberately make anyone jealous, but I always had someone else to go out with if I wanted to. You might just have a great girlfriend who's a lot of fun. Until you guys are in a relationship, living together, or going steady, so to speak, then you need to keep your life running in the same pattern it was before. And if that means that you were lonely on a Saturday night, then you need to try and do something about not being lonely on a Saturday night or lonely on a weekend. Make sure you've got things to do, because don't play games with him. Be honest, and he'll appreciate that. They want to know that they're with a girl that they can trust. Don't play games with him. It will definitely backfire on you, and he won't value you highly for that. Now, another really important tip is to leave some mystery. So often we share our whole life story in the first few dates with a guy that we really like, because he's given us this impression that he's in it for the long term and he really likes you, and he's taken you on 1 or 2 dates and you've just felt very comfortable. You've had a few drinks and you've opened up about your whole life. Now, unfortunately, I've seen this end badly a lot. I've seen it end after 1 date, because when you share too much of your life, he doesn't have anything really then left to learn about you. So talk about other things. What I found is I've got a lovely, talented daughter, so I love to talk about my daughter, or I talk about, I had a great job, very interesting job at the time when I was out on the dating scene. So I would always divert the conversation to talking about other things in my life. And it's good to actually build a picture for this guy of what your life is like, because pick out the interesting things about it, because that's what he wants to be a part of, and that elevates your value as well. When you start opening up about your personal life too early, you might say something that he can then take away and think about a little bit more and think, maybe that's not something I want to get involved in, or maybe that's not something I like about her, when really you haven't had time to elaborate on this part of your life. And if he really got to know you properly and he got to find out the whole story, then he'd probably love that about you. But don't tell him bits and pieces of stories and divulge little bits and pieces of information to a guy that you barely know, because it doesn't end well. You're better to just let him unwrap you slowly. About a year or so ago, I coached a lady, I'll call her Louise, and she told me when I first met her that she had dated this man who had come in and out of her life literally about 4 times. Every time he had come in, he had offered to take her on a date, and they'd never actually had a dinner. They'd managed to have numerous drinks. She'd managed to go back to his house. She'd offered to cook for him. She'd bought him little gifts. He'd always come up with some excuse and then disappeared, something to do with a child or an accident or work or travel. They never seemed to form a relationship. And she said to me, Lizzie, she said, what do you think? And I said, well, straight away, as I'm sure you're listening to this and you can see straight away, this guy is just wasting her time. He's just using her. There are con men and players out there. And the more that we accept bad behavior from these guys, the more we will get bad behavior back. Just don't. Just say no. Let him go. She blocked him in the end. Finally, we got to a situation where she accepted my advice. We let these guys back into our lives all the time. I've done it too, not quite as many times as she has, but we let them back in because we just feel that's all we are worthy of, and that, next time it'll be different. Believe me, it never gets any better. If these guys feel that you're too easygoing and that you'll accept this behavior, then that is what they will give you. When you show them that I will not accept this behavior from you, that I expect more from you, that I have other things going on in my life that are more important than you, then they need to step up and they need to really plan a proper date. They need to invest in you, to spend money on you, to take you out or to take you on a holiday or to make you feel like you're special to them. If they're not making you feel special, if they're not prioritizing you, if they're always making excuses, then you're not special to them. Then they've got other things going on in their life. Then they're just playing you. So let them go. You are better than this. You deserve better than this. You deserve to be valued highly. So please don't fall for these games. These guys have got other girls in their life, quite obviously, because if they're coming in and out of your life, they're certainly not single. They're definitely dating other girls. So try to remember that. You're not special to these guys. You want to be with someone you are special to. So don't accept bad behavior, because he doesn't deserve to know all about you yet. Keep your value elevated by keeping yourself a little bit mysterious. When a guy doesn't know everything about you, he feels the need to get to know more about you, and that keeps him coming back. That keeps him chasing you. That makes you more interesting to him. That means he's got to take you on another date to get to know a little bit more about you. It means he's got to call you, and always just drip feed the information. Don't give it all at once. You've got years ahead of you, hopefully. If this guy becomes magnetized to you, then you will have plenty of time to let him into your life and to let him know all about you. But my strong advice is to don't overshare in those early days. What will really elevate your value is to make sure that you've got a plan B. Always have something else to do, a fallback position, so to speak. Like I said before, I had a gay boyfriend who I was really quite happy to spend a Saturday night with if I had no date. And I never wanted to have that feeling that I needed someone in my life ever again. So I always make sure, even to this day, that I have interests, I have exercise, I have friends, I have something that I can fall back on should I be in the situation where I feel I don't want to be alone. Now, I actually don't mind being alone. I've come to a place in my life where I actually love spending time on my own. But if you're someone that doesn't like being alone, it's really important to always make sure you've got someone or something to fall back on so that he doesn't get that vibration that you're devastated that you're not going to see him. We never want him to feel like you need him in your life, because when he feels that, then he knows he's got you. He knows you're too eager to be with him. We want to always be, as I said before, a little bit aloof, a little bit unattainable, a little bit out of reach. That makes him work harder to be with you. You've got to make him be doing the work. So you keep yourself busy, have that plan B organized in advance, and fall back on that. And never let him know that you're worried about not seeing him. You'll be fine. Don't put yourself in a position where he's the only thing that you've got going on in your life. The minute you start liking a guy, that's all you think about. If he doesn't call, you've got nothing to do. Just make sure that he's kind of in the background and your life continues. Now, it should go without saying that to elevate your value, your grooming is incredibly important. What people see first up, a first impression, is so important, and it sets the standard of what you expect back from him. So go all out, make sure that you look perfectly groomed. That does not mean wearing loads and loads of makeup. It just means being very well groomed all the time. Nails, hair, nicely taken care of skin, unscuffed shoes, clothes that fit you nicely, not baggy, feel feminine, give across an impression of this is who I am, this is how I present myself, and I expect the same back from you. I never want to go on a date with a guy in a pair of thongs and a pair of board shorts. I want a guy to go out of his way to put on a shirt and to do his hair. I've seen guys in my life do this. When they're not really into a girl, they don't go to a lot of trouble. When they really want to impress someone, they go all out, and they blow dry their hair and they put the gel in and they put on a nicely ironed shirt. They actually iron their shirts. Guys will go out of their way to step up to a girl that they feel has stepped up. So you need to set the standard. Value yourself highly and others will value you highly too. Now, this can be a bit controversial, I know. I've listened to a lot of male coaches who don't always agree with this, but then that's coming from their perspective. I feel that a guy should pay for the date, and I feel you should expect him to pay for the date if you like him. If you don't really like him and you don't see this going anywhere, then by all means, be prepared to pay half. But if you've decided to go on a date with him and you've then put in all the time and effort into your grooming, you know, if you're anything like me, I have probably spent money on either my hair or an outfit, or I've got my nails done. I've probably spent a few days deciding what I'm going to wear. I've put time, effort, and energy into what I do, and the least he could do is pay for the date. I don't think you should be dating guys at this time of your life if you want a long-term partner in your life that can't afford to take you on a date. If he can't afford to pay for the date, then what does the future look like with this guy? So it shouldn't be a money thing. It should be that he values you highly enough. I think too many girls think they're not worthy of this guy paying for the date, and so they accept they should pay half. And I don't think that that is where you should put yourself. You are not a work friend. You are not a friend. You want to be a girlfriend. So position yourself there and expect that he would be paying for the date. Go all out to make yourself look great and be great sparkling company. Be attentive, be appreciative, be very feminine, and give him the girl that values herself highly. And he will also, as I said, value you highly. When you start expecting that he's not going to pay, or that you're not worthy enough for him to pay, then that is what you will get back. So expect that this is the way it will go, that you will be the girl that he wants to take care of, that he wants to value highly, and that's what he will do. And he will expect to pay. If he's inviting you on a date, he's expecting that he will pay for you. Now, until this right guy comes along, the one that you deserve, that values you highly, just keep living your life, keep improving yourself, take care of yourself, keep loving life, stay busy, stay happy, and the right guy will come along. But just remember, don't accept less than you deserve. If you haven't already realized, I'm a dating and relationship coach. It is my absolute passion to work with ladies who need help on the dating scene. I have been there, I've done it all. I've been married twice, I've had numerous relationships, and some have been great and others have just been a total disappointment, but I am in the best relationship of my life. So I'm here to help you. I help you first with your mindset, getting through those blocks that often we have, learning how to get back out on the dating scene if you're new to it again. Also, just working through every date. I'm there like your cheerleader to lead you through the dating process, right by your side, one-on-one. And it is really, really helpful to have someone to do this with, to ask questions of, and that's what I'm there for. So if you'd like to work with me, please look at the link below, have a look at my website and get in touch with me. I'm going to leave a couple of videos up on the screen that YouTube want you to watch, and I really look forward to your comments. Until next time, thank you so much for listening.